Hi and welcome to another episode of Mark's Motivational Podcast. I'm delighted to be joined by another great guest. I know through Tony Gordon, who's been on the podcast a few times. So I'm delighted to welcome Anjeta Bothin. You're very welcome along. Thanks very much for joining me. And that's your first book you've written behind you there.
Yeah,
Yeah, great stuff. Well done. And when did you publish that?
the 1st of August this
Very
year.
good. And I hope it does really well for you. I hope it does really well for you.
Yeah,
The
thank
book.
you.
So no, you're welcome. So we might just start the podcast off. If you wouldn't mind, tell the listeners and the people who are watching on YouTube a little bit about yourself and your writing, because I know you're involved in poetry and you're in different anthology books as well with your poetry.
Yeah, I'm a writer, I'm a German translator and tutor, and I've written this book. It's my first novel. I've also written lots of poems and a book that is a poem for selective mutism awareness, and other poems are in anthologies that are together with poems that other people have written. And I've also published a few academic texts, academic papers that uh, were created during my PhD studies.
Very good. That's great. Well done. The idea of the book, would you mind just telling the listeners a little bit about the book you've written? Because it sounds really interesting.
Selective Mutism, it's
Yeah.
called.
Okay.
So my book is called Annika and the Treasure of Iceland. It is
Yeah.
basically a treasure hunt in Iceland,
Mm.
and the main character, Annika, has a selective mutism, and I describe how she experiences this and what challenges she faces. And yeah, she has to get around Iceland with some other people in a treasure hunt and kind of competition or a race, and they need to find clues and solve riddles to get to the next place and kind of in the end find the treasure. And it is also about personal development, and the people get to know each other and find out more about themselves. And there might also be something that shows in the end how you can overcome problems like anxiety and fear, things like that.
Great, that's great. And yeah, so useful for a lot of people now that are going through different problems like after COVID and like people that have anxiety would find this book really helpful.
Yeah, the idea behind it was to provide a role model for people who suffer from this. For
Hmm.
example, young adults that suffer with this kind of a problem because it is not very common, not
Yeah,
very well known among people, and it's usually a thing that is about children, and but also adults can suffer from this when they don't get any treatment as a child, and that was like this in the past, so it's a relatively new thing that medical professionals deal with this, and it's also it describes the symptoms and things, so it's also something that causes awareness. So if anyone reads it, it would be good for awareness about this. What
yeah,
was mutism, or better name is situational mutism, because it's basically a fear of communication in certain situations in public, for example, but these people are totally different in safe spaces, for example, at home, and so
yeah.
something that needs more awareness in the general public and among teachers, parents, anybody really.
And is this something that people are born with or like that develop through the years? And
It isn't really clear what the cause is. It could be genetic, it could be what people learn
mm,
when they grow up and what they experience in their lives. But
yeah,
it's usually a thing that starts in early childhood, and yeah, it can be treated or it remains when it's not.
mm,
It's not really easy to explain, and it could be different causes.
yeah, yeah.
It's not about people that can't speak. These people can speak,
Okay.
but they can't do it due to anxiety in certain situations only.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really hard to understand for someone who doesn't experience it. But it's really a fear or anxiety based
Mm,
thing that happens then when it's triggered in this situation when people are around, for example. So
mm,
you can think of it maybe a bit like social anxiety. It could be
mhm,
related to that, but
yeah.
there are different opinions among experts what it could be.
Mhm. And in this book, do you have certain ways that people can overcome this in your book?
Yeah, as I said, I first described the challenges that the
Yeah.
character faces. Like, for example, she has problems with going to a shop and
Yeah.
buying something because she has to ask and interact with the shop assistant.
Mm,
And yeah, there are certain things that happen, and she has to find ways to go ahead and kind of solve these problems in the end. So she has to find ways what would be things what could be done to help her with this anxiety. So that's what I try to depict in this.
yeah. And have you experienced people that like are like this that you've written about yourself? Have you experienced this from people you've worked with?
Yeah, I experienced it myself as a child,
Okay, sorry, I didn't.
and
Yeah. Okay.
so I took a few things that I experienced and a few things from other people that I have worked with and that I have heard, and a few things that are some general characteristics that I thought would be something how I would create this character, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so really well done to you for being able to do that, like for experiencing yourself and then putting in a book. That's brilliant. Well done to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So no. Thank you for coming on. And have you always written yourself? Have you always been interested in writing?
Yeah, I like writing.
Yeah,
Gives me pleasure and it's
yeah,
a nice thing to do in my spare time. I
yeah.
love to write poetry about personal growth, about nature, about anything really.
Mm. And would you have one of your poems that you could share with us tonight if you're comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, please. That would be great to hear one of your poems, please.
You want me to read one?
Yes, please. Yeah, that'd be. I'd really love to hear one of your poems. I love the cover of your book. It's really good. The illustrations are
Yeah,
very well done.
yeah, I think that shows the famous church in Iceland, in Reykjavik, in the capital of Iceland.
Oh
It's
wow,
a,
yeah, it's really nice.
it's a church that is in the shape um, of a mountain, and then you can see the northern lights in the background.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? It really is very well done. And
Yeah,
who done the illustrations for you? Is-
Cafe Owen,
Oh wow, really
um,
good.
illustrator. Right, I think I found the poem.
Great, great stuff.
So it's called Silence.
Great, looking forward to hearing this. Thank you.
Silence. Talkative at home, happy and loud, but quiet and withdrawn in a crowd. Silent at school and in the shop. Does this selective mutism ever stop? It is not a choice, this hiding of the voice. When people are around, there is no sound. Like a sudden freeze, being in a tight squeeze, unable to talk, nowhere to walk. Observing and listening is easy to do, but asking and joining in is hard to pursue. Keep trying and trying again, nothing is ever in vain. If people only knew that kindness is the thing to do, inclusion, no pressure, and some fun in life is all that is needed to thrive.
Wow, that's brilliant. I love that. That's really good because that sums exactly how like you'll experience it growing up like from that poem. It
Yeah,
explains this really
thank
well.
you. That's one of my poems.
It's really, really good. Really love it. It's really good. Silence, it's called.
Yeah,
Wow,
silent.
I love it. It's really good. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah, because I think like a lot of people can like I don't know if how you could say this, but you know, if you experience any kind of bullying in school or anything like that, like it's hard enough that if someone hasn't got it hasn't got you know what you're saying there, what the issue you had, like even having the bullying, like not the physical side of things, but the you know the mental side of things can be worse. You know, can make you, you know, even if you're not suffering from the selective mutism, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, like you're still find with crowds, you feel like the same thing's going to happen again, even without like it is an anxiety thing as well that a lot of people can feel.
Yeah, I think bullying happens if you're different, and
Mm,
that's what happens among children. So it's not really an issue now as an adult that much, I would say, but it could be for somebody at work. It could be hard with such issues that
mm,
they get socially excluded if they don't socialize with their colleagues or things like that.
yeah, yeah. And can I ask you, in your book, does the character have issues like that as well? The character you've created in the book.
Yeah, I created a young adult,
Mm,
and she's like, she has finished school and she doesn't know what to do, and she wants to study, but she feels like she's not ready for it. All the changes that happen there, and what she needs to do to live an independent adult life. So that's how she starts, and then she goes on this treasure hunt, and hopefully she comes back as a person that is then able to face what she has to deal with in life.
yeah. Well, it's such an inspiration kind of thing that you've written
Yeah.
this book, you know, because like people that may as well as that would have this problem or
Mhm.
by you being such an inspiration by writing this book for them can spark that same thing with them.
Mhm. Yeah, and I put it in the setting of Iceland because I like this country and
Mm,
the countryside and all the scenery, the waterfalls and the volcanic things and
lovely.
all these things you have there. And I kind of tried to put the sites into it as kind of scenes where things happen.
Mm,
So it could also help you to get to know the country and to learn more about the sites that you could visit and that really exist there.
yeah, well, because they can tell you a bit about the country to visit as well. That's great.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's really good. Yeah. And did you self-publish this book or was it done by a publisher?
It's with a small publisher here in Scotland.
Oh, well done. That's great. And was that something you found difficult to find a publisher?
It is difficult, but that is now the publisher.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well done. And
thank you.
no, that's brilliant. And when did you went there? Have you done well with the book? Has the book done well for you? Have you has it sold? Is it going good for you?
Yeah, I think so. It's on Amazon. It's available as paperback and on Kindle and also on Kindle Unlimited if you have a subscription.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Great stuff. No, I'm going to share the links on the show notes for people to
Mhm.
get a copy of this as well for you. Yeah, can I just ask you as well? did you how did you find writing with COVID through COVID? Was that was that like an obstacle for you at the time, or
And I didn't really read it at the time,
you didn't write it? Okay, yeah. So yeah. So yeah,
and I didn't mention that in it. And it said that at a time that is just like a normal time, so
mm,
there was nothing to do with that as
yeah.
such.
Oh no, Grant. Yeah, no, just because a lot of people, me personally, I found COVID to be good for me, like for getting, I got my book published through COVID. So like it had like every, like you say, every kind of diversity can have something good that comes out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good that way. And you mentioned you did a PhD as well. What did you what was the PhD you did?
Was in information studies at the University of Sheffield,
Okay.
and my topic was about analyzing people's meeting notes and people's behavior in meetings.
Behavior, people's behavior, is it? Sorry.
Yeah, in meetings,
Oh, and
like
meet.
what notes they take and how they talk and
Okay. Very interesting.
things like that.
Yeah. And how long ago did you do that yourself?
How long I did that?
Yeah, how long ago did you do that?
Uh, I think I finished in 2011.
Okay, great stuff. And
Yeah,
so like you're, is that what you do as a profession yourself? Is that what you've gotten into as a profession?
yeah.
Very good.
I'm a writer and translator now. That's what I started
Oh,
when I
translator.
finished my studies.
So you must love languages.
Yeah.
Wow. Because how many what languages do you translate? What how many different languages?
You know, I translate usually from English to German
Okay.
because German is my native language.
Okay. Great stuff. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And do you find it hard to have the time to write as well as that, or is that something you do? Do you have a kind of a strategy in your writing? Do you write a certain amount of words a day, or what way do you go about writing yourself?
I attend creative writing workshops from time to time, and
Mm.
they give me inspiration on things I could write. But mostly it's poetry. So then I write a few poems
Mm.
when I feel like it, or when I need one for a specific event or things like that.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, brilliant. Because writing is great for you, isn't it? Just I find writing can really, you can just get lost in what you're writing. It's kind of like a it's kind of like a trance. I find it kind of like a trance state
Yeah,
where just you can close off the rest of the world.
yeah, I found creative writing is different from academic writing.
Mm,
What I used to do before that, as just factual stuff and research results and whatever it is. And when you do creative writing, you can just write whatever you want and it can
yeah,
be totally your imagination.
yeah, definitely. Because I had somebody in the podcast the last time they were saying it's like the characters take their own life. They come to life
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Great. And now I'm very interested in what you were saying a bit earlier as well about like the way people behave in meetings. Is that something you work with people on? Is it as well?
Yeah, that's what I did for my PhD at the time.
Yeah, yeah. And do you do that to help people now at the moment, Antje?
No, that's
No.
finished now. I'm just in a few support groups for selective mutism.
Great,
And
great stuff. Brilliant.
yeah,
That's great. And and is there a particular support group that is near you that you'd like to give a mention for people who are listening and watching this to contact?
yeah, most groups are online. So, Facebook groups, like the SM Space Cafe, for example, is a good group for adults.
Mm, right, yeah. Because you've sent me your bio, so I'm gonna share that as well because it's good details for everybody that's watching and listening as well.
Yeah,
Um, so they'll be able to check out more. So that's brilliant. Thanks very much for that.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and as well as that, w- is there any authors that would have inspired you to write this book? Is what would any writers inspire you in your writing? Like it,
There's another book about a character with selective mutism.
okay,
That's called What I Couldn't Tell You by Faye Bird. That's a crime story.
okay, yeah,
And yeah, that's probably something similar also for young adults.
wow, great stuff.
But most books about selective mutism are for young children, like picture books and things like that, because that's really um, the children that should read that and take their inspiration how they can overcome this at this age.
Right. So, and what age group are they for? Is it for young children, like their picture books? Is it
Yeah,
right? And is that something you're working on yourself, or is other authors have written this?
no, that's what our authors have done.
Oh, great. Yeah, great.
I
Um,
haven't written a picture book. Mine is really for teens or young adults or adults of any age.
great, great. Yeah, no, well done. That's really good. And and have you any other books you're working on yourself, Antje?
No, I'm just trying to write more poems and
Yeah,
maybe putting together a book of poems in the future.
brilliant. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, no, that's a great idea because I love your first poem. Would you be able to maybe read another one of your great poems? Would be great if you don't mind.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can
Oh,
you repeat
sorry,
that?
sorry. Would you be able to read maybe another one of your poems? Another one of your poems, please,
Another one, yeah,
please.
I can do that.
Thanks very much, Angie.
Um, that's that's a similar one. It's also about selective mutism. It's called Incredibly Invisible.
Right.
Incredibly invisible. Invisibility was her natural superpower. She could do it every minute and every hour. She could miraculously hide herself away. She had absolutely nothing to say. Her mind had the words ready in a crowd, but her voice could never be heard aloud. Nobody could see her stare, because she wasn't really there. She could dress in red or green, and she wouldn't actually be seen. She could do whatever she pleased. Nobody would notice if she sneezed. She could even take things and leave, but people wouldn't in the slightest perceive the signs that she had been present at all, even if she suffered a terrible fall. But she is free now, happy and strong. The things she does usually never go wrong, because invisibility is her incredible superpower, and she is proud of it like a radiant sunflower.
Wow, that is brilliant.
And
That was really, really good. I love that one.
thank you.
Well done. That's really because God, I think a book of poems would be really good. But it sounds your poems they're brilliant. Thanks a lot for sharing them. Really, really good. Yeah, I know I can see on your bio as well. You love a cup of tea. I love tea myself. Tea and reading.
Yeah, yeah, I like the
Yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah. because even when we go away on holiday, like you can't beat tea from your own where you're from yourself. You know, you go home, you go away, and the tea isn't great. Like, you know, that's one you miss about being at home. You know, away on holidays. You know.
Yeah, tea isn't really a thing in Germany. There's only coffee.
Oh,
So,
coffee is it?
so maybe that I can have tea.
Yeah, yeah. And can I just ask as well? Tony Gordon is a mutual friend of ours. Have you worked with Tony yourself, Antje?
Yeah, we've done something for Selective Mutism awareness this year.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Because we hadn't heard about it before and he wanted to do something. And
And did it help what he did? Did you just find it positive?
yeah, I think so. I think we could educate a few people,
Mm.
like mm, hypnotherapists or coaches or all these kind of people, people that work with children and teenagers that might come across this.
Yeah. Because I'm doing a course at the moment on hypnosis, and
Mm,
I was watching a module on the course where this guy had really bad social anxiety. He
mhm,
was a sales guy. He used to sell. That's what he did this for a living. He's a salesperson, and he's no problem selling loads of loads of stuff. That's he just natural with selling. But then in certain situations where he's with out night out with a few friends for drinks or whatever, he finds it totally different. Like he just goes really shy, and you know he goes very introvert, like, you know. And
mhm,
what he done, what Mike Mandel done in the course, the tutor that's teaching me, is he dealt with ego states. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called parts in NLP.
yeah.
He got them to he got to put a different ego state for the situation, which I found really, really good. Have you came across something similar yourself?
Not for selective mutism, but I've heard of trans
Yeah, yeah,
what's it called? Transactional analysis or something where you have the three things like the it and the parent and
yeah,
there's a third one.
mm, yeah. Because no, I'm just interested because you know, I
The
know
parent, the
he
parent, the
hadn't got.
child. And,
Sorry, I couldn't really hear you. Sorry, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. No, I was just saying the parent, the child, and the adult ego. Can't really remember what it was called, but I've heard of such things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I know he didn't have that, but you know, like it seemed to help his, you know, his anxiety, social anxiety, you know, um, and you know, it seemed like a positive thing, you know.
Yeah. What I found, what helps is like exposure therapy, like facing your fear and doing things in small steps and putting yourself in the situation that you fear.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. Like there's a book that I haven't read myself, but Feel the Fear, but Do It Anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. By Susan Jeffers, yeah, I know that one.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, and yeah, I haven't read, I heard it's very good. Yeah, I heard it's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And can I just ask as well, do you have any what's your favorite authors to read yourself when you're having your tea?
Mm.
Favorite type of books?
I think I like crime stories and
Mm.
things like that, but
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite author, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no problem. No, like it's just something that comes to mind. Like, and do you like non-fiction? Like, what do you like? Any non-fiction books?
Non-fiction and something like self-help books.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah. Because like I've got interest in reading a few over the last couple of years, like mindset and stuff like that, you know.
yeah.
So, Interesting books. Yeah. And yeah, no, thanks very much for coming on and sharing your story. It's great. And how did you find yourself? How did you overcome the selective mutism yourself? How did you come up overcome it yourself?
Yeah, as I said, I tried to give myself challenges to do the things that I had most problems with.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise you just have to do things in life that you have to do, and
Yeah.
then you might realize that you suddenly can do something that you didn't think that you could do like years ago.
Mm.
So it's really learning and growing and doing things. And
Your PhD, your book, and everything. So, congratulations, great.
thank you.
Yeah. And because um, by having the PhD, it's a doctor. That's where
Yeah,
right. That's brilliant. Really, really good. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
thank you for having me.
And can I ask as well, what's your favorite music yourself? You have favorite music to listen to?
Yeah, I like pop music.
Pop music? Yeah.
Yeah,
Anybody in particular who's your favorite singer, or do you have a few favorites?
I couldn't tell you.
No. No, pop music is great, yeah.
I listen to the Charger on the radio,
Mm,
but
yeah. Same as myself. I'm a big radio fan myself.
yeah,
Yeah. And do you ever listen to music when you write, when you're writing, or have you ever done that yourself before?
yeah, sometimes
Yeah. And how do you find that?
it's relaxing.
Mm, yeah, yeah. Because would you be like me with lyrics? I wouldn't listen to music with lyrics, but background music is good.
Not always. Sometimes I just like the silence to work, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's good.
Mm, yeah. And movies, favorite movies?
Yeah,
Not
um,
our favorite, but just what type of movies do you like to watch?
maybe comedy or
Yeah.
anything. I like the Truman Show.
Great film. That's a great film.
Yeah,
I think that's where Big Brother got their ideas from.
yeah,
Yeah. Truman's great. Um, I think Robin Williams has had great movies, didn't he?
yeah.
Yeah. Patch Adams. Have you seen Patch Adams?
No,
Really worth looking at. It's really fun film. Really good. Really fun. Yeah, yeah. And can I ask as well? Can you give people what kind of keeps you motivated as well? Um, like because it's a motivational podcast. And what kind of keeps you motivated in what you do with your writing and with your translations and
mm, I think it's important to never give up and just move on and
mm,
do your things.
yeah, very good. Yeah. Because and how long did it take you to write the book, Antje?
Mm. I'd say a couple of months, maybe just to have a broad script and
Yeah.
maybe a year or so. But it took a while to get it all finished with the publisher and all
Mm,
these things.
yeah. And so like it was a year, was it? It took about a year, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well done. And in that year, did you ever find you kind of got writer's block? Did that ever happen to you? And how would you have dealt with that?
yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I had a few times when I didn't know how I would create a scene and what exactly should happen.
Mm,
I had the plan I had. This is what the place is, and that is what should happen. But I kind of felt I needed more to make it a real scene, like a chapter that there was just more flesh in it. And so I was kind of thinking, what could I do? What could happen? And what I actually did is I used a poem to kind of give these characters the riddle that they need to solve. So every time they come to a new place, they get a new poem riddle, and then they need to find out what that means and where they need to go next. And in the end, there might be like a big poem that might make sense.
That's a great strategy. That's a really good strategy. I love that. Great stuff. Because you're using your poetry, because you're a natural at the poetry, and you're bringing it into the book. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I felt like that would be an interesting thing to do.
Yeah, wow, that's great. Really good. Okay. Um, and would you be able to share one more of your poems if you like? Because I just think they're really really nice poems.
Hmm, I can try and find another one.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Mm, takes a while to open. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Thanks very much.
Okay, so this one's called Unseen. Unseen. You hear the word gather and tremble with fear. Lots of people together, all way too near. A party or meeting, the heart starts beating. You know you can't speak, you're such a freak. The words won't come out, you won't say those thoughts aloud. The world doesn't really know you, you don't tell stories to listen to. You'll end up all alone, hiding quietly at home, with your heart full of shame, or you getting insane. Your house is a safe space for a person loud, happy, and fun, but in public a change takes place. You'll become a different one. Unseen, you exist, but what have you missed?
Wow, that's really heartfelt. That's really nice. Well done. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Really well. Like, and can I say as well? I love the way you say them as well. Like it's really you can really feel the emotion with the poetry. It's really really nice.
Mhm.
Really good. Thanks a lot for sharing. You're very good.
Thank you.
No, you're very welcome. And what's next for yourself? What's next for you? Have you any other work coming out? I know you're saying you want to get the poetry book. Is that something you're working on at the moment, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to put a few poems together and
Mm,
maybe I'll put them in a book and
yeah, great stuff.
do this in the future.
Great stuff. Yeah. And what else do you like to do in your spare time, as well as writing?
I like cycling.
Cycling, cool. Yeah, great stuff.
I like cycling around a lake here locally.
Nice.
That's something I do.
When you get good weather.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, and is there anything else I haven't asked you'd like to share with people today?
Mm, mm, not really.
Oh, that's fine. No, just no, it's been absolute great talking to you on the podcast. Thanks a lot for coming on to the show. It's been a pleasure meeting you. And as I said, I'm gonna share all your links on the show notes for people to check out.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I wish you all the success going forward and everything you do with your writing and it's this amazing book you have out there.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So thanks everyone for tuning in to today's podcast, another episode of Mark's motivational podcast with Antje Bothin. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I just don't want to mess with your name. But thanks a lot for coming on again. It's been great talking to you.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Take care. Hello everyone, Mark here. Thank you for watching another episode of my Authors Tuesday podcast. I recently published a book of children's stories called The Adventures of Larry Lamppost and Friends. The book began life as bedtime stories I wrote for my own children. If you'd like to purchase my book, follow the link in the description box below. By buying my book, you are also supporting my podcast series for authors, which is giving a voice to writers in Ireland and across the world.